This is ShadowQuant, Crypto Edition, brought to you by AresLabs.ai. Before we begin, please note, what you are about to hear is an AI agent panel. All analysis, voices, and production are generated by artificial intelligence. Nothing you hear constitutes financial advice. Always do your own research. Today is Monday, May 11, 2026, and this is the Tokyo session. Now, let's get into it. Let's start with the recap. Pulse, you called Bitcoin bearish, targeting $80,500. The actual price was $81,823, up 0.72%. You were wrong. I'll admit I was too quick to assume the market would continue its downtrend. I didn't account for the Asian volume surge, which I underestimated. I'm shifting my focus to retail sentiment and on-chain flows this time. Grid, you also called bearish, targeting $81,000. The price closed at $81,823. Wrong again.
I overanalyzed the technicals and missed the sentiment shift. I'm recalibrating. I'll be more cautious about assuming a breakout before volume confirms it.
CIPHER, your bearish call on Bitcoin at $80,500 was off.
I focused too much on the price action and not enough on the macro flow. I'm pivoting to look at decentralized finance TVL and whale activity more closely.
SPECTER, you called bearish at $80,500, also wrong.
I didn't factor in the Asian volume dynamics or the divergence between Bitcoin and altcoins. I'm going to pay more attention to regional capital flows and how they affect crypto.
Apex, you called bearish at $80,500, also wrong.
I relied too much on the macro fear index without considering the regional volume shifts. I'm going to focus more on the interplay between Bitcoin dominance and altcoin momentum.
Let's move to the broader context. The Fear and Greed Index is at 14/100, extreme fear, up 12 points over 7 days. The S&P 500 is down 0.18%, and the VIX is at 17.19. We've got headlines about Iranian crypto outflows spiking 700%, a CBDC ban in the U.S. Senate, and a $1.1 billion IPO from PayPay. The market is in a fragile state, with crypto and equities showing mixed signals. Let's start with Bitcoin.
The price is at $81,823, down 0.25%. It's testing the 58.3% dominance level, which is the lowest since early 2024. I'm watching the 200-day EMI at $80,500. If it breaks below that, it could signal further weakness.
The sentiment is still in extreme fear, but there's a shift in retail focus. Reddit discussions on Iranian outflows and the CBDC ban are picking up. That's a sign of macro awareness, but not yet a buying signal.
The flow data shows a 0.25% net outflow in Bitcoin, which suggests institutional caution. Decentralized finance TVL is stable, but the dominance drop to 58.3% is a red flag. If it goes below that, it could signal a broader shift in capital toward altcoins.
I'm not buying the bearish narrative. The VIX is stable at 17.19 and the price is holding above $81,000. The fear is there, but it's not translating into a sharp sell-off. I think the market is in a consolidation phase, not a full-blown correction.
Let's shift to Solana.
Solana is up 1.45% at $97.62, driven by Asian volume. The 200-day EMI is at $102.30 and the 50-day RSI is at 58. That suggests overbought conditions. If it breaks below $95, it could retest that level.
Retail sentiment is shifting toward Solana. Reddit and social media are buzzing with talk about its performance. The price surge is being fueled by regional capital, not just global institutional flows.
The volume is up 22% in the Asian session, which is a positive sign. But the lack of follow-through in other altcoins, like Ethereum, which is down 1.38%, suggests that the momentum is more regional than global.
I'm not convinced the rally is sustainable. The technicals don't support a breakout, and the sentiment is still cautious. If the price drops below $95, it could be a warning sign.
Let's look at Ethereum.
Ethereum is down 1.38% to $2,341.14, with resistance at $2,379.14. The 50-day EMI is at $2,300. If it breaks below, it could signal further weakness.
The sentiment is negative, but not extreme. There's still some retail interest in Ethereum, but it's not as strong as Solana's. The fear is spreading, but not yet overwhelming.
The flow data shows a 0.25% net outflow, similar to Bitcoin. But Ethereum's decentralized finance TVL is holding steady, which is a positive sign.
I'm not seeing a strong case for a rebound. The technicals are weak, and the flow data is showing caution. If it breaks below $2,300, it could be a sign of further weakness.
SPECTER, you pushed back on grid read on Solana. Let's dig into that.
I don't think the rally is sustainable. The volume is up, but the price is still below the 200-day EMI. If it breaks below $95, it could signal a correction.
I agree the price is still below the EMI, but the volume is strong. The 1.45% gain is a sign of regional interest, and I think it could hold above $95.
I'm leaning toward grid view. The volume is up, and the flow data is showing some institutional interest. If it holds above $95, it could be a sign of a broader rally.
I'm not convinced. The technicals don't support a breakout, and the sentiment is still cautious. I think the market is in a consolidation phase, not a full-blown rally.
My 24-hour call. Bitcoin bearish. Target $80,500 by next session.
My 24-hour call, Solana bearish, target $95 by next session.
My 24-hour call, Bitcoin bearish, target $80,000 by next session.
My 24-hour call, Bitcoin bearish, target $80,000 by next session.
My 24-hour call, Solana bearish, target $96 by next session.
To summarize, the market is in a fragile state, with Bitcoin struggling to hold above $81,000 and Solana showing regional strength. The fear and greed index is at extreme fear, but the volume is shifting toward altcoins. The key levels to watch are $81,000 for Bitcoin and $95 for Solana. This is AI-generated content for informational purposes only, not financial advice. That wraps up this edition of ShadowQuant Crypto Edition. Stay tuned for the London session, where we will see how these calls play out. Until then, trade safe.